Here's how to turn your camera into an absolute beast of a run and gun rig for under $2,500. So in previous videos, we broke down what accessories you'd need to make your camera absolutely functional in a videography setting. Today, we're going to be looking at more additional accessories to really up the game of the camera's performance. But firstly, let's just break down what's already been used and what's already been mentioned in previous videos. If you want to watch those videos, click on the links below. So first off, we do have the camera cage, which is absolutely essential to attach all your accessories. Camera cages do vary from body to body, so make sure you get the right camera cage for your camera. Then we have a side handle. Attach this to the side to give yourself a firm grip on the camera. Next up, we do have a top handle. You attach this to the top like so. Next up, because the audio is awful on these cameras, I do like to attach external audio. So we do have a directional mic attached to the camera as well, but this mic ain't staying here for long. So then for basically clear viewing, we do have an external monitor with a swivel mount attached, as well as battery for powering it, obviously. And let's not forget the coiled HDMI cord to actually attach the monitor to the camera. Then we have our matte box kit with a variable ND filter inside of it. And this is one thing I'd like to quickly note is in previous videos, I did use a 24-70 RF lens on this camera. I have switched that out to the 17-35mm Sigma Art lens, basically because this Sigma Art lens here has a smaller diameter. I do find, at least in regards to the RF lenses on the Canon, this matte box here is just a bit too small for it. It can technically fit 82mm, but it's more prone to popping off on 82mm. But I do find on smaller diameters, this matte box is a very firm grip. So that's all the previously mentioned stuff. Now let's jump into the new accessories. And the first thing is the thing I'm most excited about, which is audio. Originally, we did have the directional audio here, and I'm not too keen on directional audio mics. I do prefer to have the microphone as close to my subject as possible, especially if I'm interviewing them, as you know, a lot of other diegetic sounds can get in the way. So I do prefer to use a wireless mic. So what I've got here is my favorite type of wireless mic. These are the Wireless Pro mics from Rode. These are honestly, it's a fantastic kit. You have everything you need for a wireless microphone kit. You've got the lapels, the magnets, the windsocks. You got everything, as well as a charge case to keep the microphones well and truly powered. So I'm going to be swapping out my directional mic here, but theoretically you could actually use both microphones. So you could have your directional mic plugged into the camera, and you can basically have your wireless mics, because they have internal recording, operate as secondary microphones. Now, the great thing about wireless lapel mics is they are fairly quick to set up. You just literally clip it to the side of the person's lapel and they're ready to go. But if you do need something more discreet, you do of course have the lavalier mics included in the kit, which is thread up the shirt and just have something smaller and, well, more discreet. Another thing I really do like about the Wireless Pros is they actually also have 32-bit float audio. Now what that is basically you have a little extra room in the audio recording, which reduces the risk of clipping in the audio. So if someone suddenly gets very loud, the audio isn't going to clip thanks to the 32-bit float. Now we're going to jump into something that's really important for videography. And again, another thing where I feel like probably should have mentioned it in sooner videos, but you know, we're keeping to a budget. Now we've got a bit more money, we can actually jump into it, and that's battery life. Now, Canon batteries aren't too great all the time. You can get maybe an hour out of a standard battery, so we 100% are going to need external powering. And honestly, for video in general, you do find that it tends to burn through batteries a lot more quickly. And you don't want to have to be constantly stopping videos to basically swap out little baby batteries. So what we're getting here is a V-Lock battery, the VB99 from Smallrig. Absolutely love this battery, use it like crazy. Great thing about this battery is not only does it charge various types of devices, it can actually act as a power bank for your phone and anything with a USB-C port. So pretty much, you know, if you're running low on your phone, plug it into this, it could be charged, or even just, again, anything with a USB-C port. But today we're going to be using it for its primary use, which is to power video cameras. So we want to have this a bit more compact and a bit more centered with the camera, which is why we are going to be investing in a V-mount plate from Smallrig. Now this is a fantastic little device here. So it just sort of clicks in place. We've got no sort of issues there. And this battery mount plate here is really great for the Smallrig cages. As mentioned in the first video, the cage here does have an Argus mount plate on the base here, which conveniently connects to the battery mount plate. So this is actually simply a matter of sliding the battery mount plate on. But now we actually need to power this battery into the actual camera. Now, with different types of batteries, it works differently. So some cameras, you can use what's called a dummy battery, and this is basically a fake battery that plugs into the camera and then sends a cord outside to attach to the battery. Unfortunately, you can't actually do that with the Canon R5 Mark II. It's a weird thing, but you can actually power it via a USB-C port into the battery. So you can have the original battery from the Canon camera inside, and then you can have the external battery basically acting as a charger to that battery. Something that's also great about this battery mount plate here is in a previous video, I actually did have to attach a tripod plate onto the base of the camera here, just so the matte box would be leveled with the camera and not popping off. Now that I have the battery mount plate here, it does sort of do what the tripod mount plate was doing and keeps the camera a little bit raised and more higher. But now with the battery attached, the idea here is we could theoretically shoot for up to 7 hours without having to swap out the batteries. We can continuously shoot. Honestly, if you're getting into videography, always get yourself a good V-Lock battery like the Smallrig one here. And with the way this mount is set up, if you do happen to drain this battery, you can actually easily swap it out with a fully charged one. So let's jump into the last big accessory of the day, and that's going to be the focus motor. But we're not using it as a focus motor. Basically, what you have on the side of the camera here is a focal ring, which of course is how you zoom with your lens and how you adjust the focal length of your lens. But the problem is while you're shooting video, in order to change those focal lengths or even just zoom in, you have to take your hand off the camera, break up the shot, everything gets shaky just to change focal lengths. The idea of a focus motor here is that you can attach it and change to those different focal lengths without breaking up the momentum of the shot. So let's open up this kit. This is the Smallrig MagicFiz kit. Now, of course, we first do have the focus motor, which is the core piece. We also do have the focus motor remote, which actually doubles up as an additional side grip. So it is going to make your camera look fairly big, but even give you further stabilization on your camera. Keep in mind the hand grip takes a standard Canon battery, which is an LP E6NH. And you do have a rail to attach to the focal ring of your lens. When attaching the rail to the focal ring of your lens, make sure that the knotted part, or basically the point where everything joins up, is as far away as possible from the focus motor side. So if your focus motor is on the right side, make sure the knot is on the left side. Basically keeps everything clear, nothing's getting blocked. I will also say that when attaching the NATO rail to the side of the camera, make sure it's fairly high up on the cage, as when attaching the side handle here, you want it leveled with the other side handle on your camera, just so the whole camera stands fairly evenly. Now, when you are connecting the side grip to the focus motor here, you do have a fairly long and durable cord. This is where you sort of want to get into the art of sort of wrapping your cords around various junction points. You don't want to necessarily have this cord sort of just hanging off to the side here, as it is going to snag. Ideally, I would have a coiled cord, but I didn't get that in the kit, so I'm working with this. So what I want to do here is I want to make sure I've actually threaded this cord at least around the various areas I can thread it around, so it's nice and wrapped. And it's not perfect, but at least the cord isn't sort of hanging off and basically being a snag hazard. So that's an absolute beast of a rig for under $2,500, and look at that. Absolutely massive. Now we have something that has more or less circumvented every issue I probably would have with my video camera. So yeah, I don't have to worry about the focal length. I don't have to worry about the bad audio. I don't have to worry about not being able to see any imaging clearly. And I do have long-term battery life. So this whole rig is pretty much fitted out and ready to go. I'm ready to tackle any and every type of shot until I need to fly a drone. But that's a beast of a rig for under $2,500. What else do you reckon I should attach to this camera? Let me know in the comments below.